What's going on, my friends? Welcome to a new episode of King's Code Radio, where we are a movement of men rising up as kings, kings unto the King of Kings, where we are producing results in every area of life. In this episode, I have two things for you. I've got a business lesson and a personal question. Now, if you are in business, there's a good chance either you or you have somebody that works for you doing sales. Now, I know in my journey as a businessman, I always gravitated to marketing, right? But I had to get good and I had to sharpen my skill sets in sales because that was what was required in that moment in time. Now, I am a believer, I think it was a Peter Drucker quote that talks about the goal of marketing is to make sales superfluous, meaning ultimately, if your marketing is good and you have a proper offer, you are offering a solution to a problem. You're offering a real solution, not scammy, not the sleazy sales, but you have a really good offer. Then your marketing, if you're doing that right and your messaging is on point, then by the time somebody actually talks to you or a salesman or woman, they are ready to buy already. There's not a lot of convincing that needs to take place. They've gone through your marketing material and they are already sold. And it might just take a conversation or two to get them to that other side. And that's what we in the King's Code really have strived to do. With our funnels that we have going on, we are solving what we call a bleeding neck issue, which if you don't solve a bleeding neck issue in your business, then it's going to be a little bit harder. You got to get a little more creative and really make sure that your marketing message is nailed down. But if you have a solution to a bleeding neck issue, and when I say bleeding neck issue, what I'm talking about is a problem that your perfect clients, that your prospects are dealing with. It is a bleeding neck issue. It is causing so much pain, and there is so much urgency to get rid of this pain and to find a solution. They are willing to do whatever it takes to get rid of that bleeding neck issue. You know, if I have a splinter in my foot, it doesn't mean I'm going to suddenly go, oh my gosh, I got to spend a whole bunch of money and get these advanced tweezers and hold on, we tend to tolerate pain sometimes, right? Especially if it's not too bad. So I could walk around with something annoying in my shoe or a splinter in my foot, and I could walk around most of the day. It'd be kind of annoying, but it's not like it's dictating my decisions. But I get cut in the neck, and now major arteries have been punctured or severed. I'm going to be very quick and very persistent to find a solution quickly. So that is what I'm talking about when it comes to a bleeding neck issue. So if you are solving a bleeding neck issue in your business and what you're doing, then that is awesome for you, and that's going to work in your favor. If you're selling more of a novelty, or something that does not necessarily address a bleeding neck issue, like I said, you're going to have a little bit more effort, a little more strategy involved to really get that over and get people to say yes, all right? And there's different drives and all of that you're really going to have to hit. But what we do inside the King's Code is we have a bleeding neck issue. And a lot of guys come into our programs for the marriage side. We deal with men coming through crisis. Their wife has left, maybe emotionally, physically, maybe divorces happen, affairs have taken place, all different kinds of craziness that bring along deep hurts and wounds and bleeding neck issues. Now, our marketing is designed where we have our funnels out there and we advertise the funnels to bring people in. They see the quality, they see the information, they see the solution. So by the time they book a call and I talk to them, most are ready to rock and roll. They're like, you don't have to convince me. And it's just, we have a conversation and they sign up. But here's the thing. And if you've ever been in sales, specifically sales, there are some words that you hate to hear. And I think when you are an entrepreneur or a businessman that really does have a heart for the people that you serve, because, and hear me, the people that you serve, it is not how much money can I get from this person who I think of as a number. It is these people that I serve. This is part of, I've been put on this earth to serve these people. And yes, I am compensated for it, but I have a skill set, a knowledge, a framework, a something that is a solution to their bleeding neck issue, and I am here to serve them. When you really have a heart for your people, your tribe, you hate to hear these words. Now, even if you're in it just for the money, you're going to hate to hear these words. And that is, well, let me think about it. I gotta think about it. And there's plenty of other excuses. Maybe, hey, I got to talk to the spouse. I got to talk to the wife. I got to, see where we're at financially and all of that kind of stuff. But most of it comes down, well, I just need some time to think about it. And see, we have all experienced more of the quote, sleazy salesman or car salesman style of selling. And that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm not talking about being so pushy and just kind of being pushy and annoying. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you legitimately have a solution that is going to help them. And it is your job to help them understand the big picture and show the path that you provide to get them from point A to point B. And so when you have that and you hear the words, well, I got to think about it, what is really going on? Because it's like, oh, come on. What are you talking about? You got to think about it. This is a bleeding neck issue. What's the problem here, right? And so when somebody is saying, oh, I got to think about it. Let me just sleep on it. We have to take a step back as that salesperson, as that business professional, as that entrepreneur and go, okay, what's really going on here? And that is usually the fact that this person, when they say, I have to think about it, is really saying, do I really want to put in the work here? Is this really going to work? It's not so much a financial issue. I think about when my wife left and I was going through all that pain and agony. And now that we're helping all these men that are going through the same thing, when I was going through that, there was no program to join. There was no help. It was me and Jesus all the way. And I'm grateful for that. But at the same time, if something had been available, would money have been an option? Would I have said, oh, no, no. I can't tell you the amount of different situations I've seen where people are willing to spend money on stupid stuff, novelty stuff. And yet, it kind of goes back to the whole financial thing where priorities and mindsets and relationship with money take place here where, hey, people will mock you for starting a business, but yet not mock you for spending a whole bunch of money on some new Jordans, or some shoes or something like that. And it's kind of a weird mentality a lot of people have. But ultimately what they're trying to find out is, how hard do I really have to work? How much do I really have to change? It's not so much how much do I really have to spend, but what is the real cost here? What is this going to cost me? Not only financially, but emotionally and physically, what is the cost here? Do I really have the time? I just need to think about it. Do I really have the time? Do I really want this result? Do I really want the result, or do I just want the absence of pain? Because see, the thing is when we're bringing men in, it's not, oh, we're going to help you get your wife back. It's, we're going to help you rise up as a man that God's called you to be, a king unto the King of Kings. And in the process, we're going to trust God with the outcome of your marriage as your wife sees this new man that you have become, which requires work. It requires dedication. Yeah, there's a cost involved, but it requires much more than just a financial cost. And so when somebody says, oh, I got to think about it, what they're really trying to find out and figure out is, do I really want to put in the work? Do I really want to put in the time? Do I really want this end result? Do I really want to change, or am I just too comfortable in who I currently am? Because here's the thing. I've seen so many and had so many conversations with different men that say, well, let me think about it. Let me do this. Let me do that. And I have to ask, well, what are you doing differently? Because you're doing the same things that got you to this current result that you don't like and that is causing you pain. So you think you're going to continue to do those things to work yourself out. No, you don't. You can't. It won't work. You have to change the framework in which you are doing things. And we've got the framework. So what is there to think about? So as a salesman, as a businessman, you understand the frustration here when you hear, I got to think about it. And so I bring this up today simply to ask, as you as a businessman, when you hear those words, to take a step back and understand what's really going on. They're looking for an excuse, and ultimately it is an excuse. If I really had, or if somebody really had a cut throat, would I go, oh, let me think about it. Let me see if I really want to go to the hospital or not. Do I really want to get sewn up? Let me think about it. No, that amount of pain is okay. Let's do something about it. So when you're offering a solution that really alleviates that pain, but offers a much greater result, you have to understand that there are excuses that are going to be thrown at you. And as we turn and point the finger at us to examine our own lives, what areas in our own life have we used the excuse, let me think about it? What areas in our life have we said, do I really want to change? Is this really going to work? Do I really want to devote the time? Do I really want to give up these other things that's consuming my thought process, my time, my money? Or do I really want to put in the work and get a real result? Do I really want to change? Maybe I don't. And you have to have that honest reality check with yourself to be open and honest and say, do I really want that? Because see, as a salesman, we don't want to hear that from our prospects, but how often do we do that too in other areas of our own life where we are using those excuses as well? So it's food for thought today. One, on the sales side, be aware that when you hear that, that's the kind of stuff going on inside of your prospect's mind. But as we examine our own lives, I challenge you today, what areas are you creating an excuse in because simply you don't know if you really want to put it? Is the cost too much? Not financially necessarily, but is the cost of your time, of your effort, of your emotional tanks? Is it going to be just too much to handle? I can't afford the challenge. I can't afford to be called out. No, you just don't want to be called out. So food for thought today. What areas in your life are you creating excuses where, hey, maybe God's telling you to do something and you're like, well, let me think about it. Food for thought today. All right, guys, until next time, God bless. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode. Food for thought for sure. If you are a man that is willing to stop making excuses and you really want real change in your life and you want the framework on how to be a man of God and to rise up as a king unto the King of Kings, then I encourage you, book a call with me and let's have a conversation to really, really make real and lasting change and results in your life. If you're listening to this around the time of this being released, I want to wish you guys a very happy Thanksgiving.